Hey guys, in the last video I told you I was going to explain what HTTP request is, what API is, what API keys is, what a post and a get really is before actually getting to building some more complex projects. Now I want you to think of HTTP request as a way to communicate with another app. It's just a way two apps talk to each other and exchange information. But first, let me point this out. When you are inside n8n and you click on the plus button, then you click on apps. You see all these native integration like Google Sheets, Slack, OpenWeather, and all these things. But guess what? Every single one of those is actually an HTTP request under the hood. n8n simply wrapped it, added a friendly interface, and made it look simpler, so you are not scared by all the raw technical details. So now, if you open the raw HTTP request node, you see a lot of fields and settings. That's what's actually happening behind every native integration we have here. They have just been pre-filled for you. The only time you use a raw HTTP request node like this is only when the API that you want to access is not part of the apps n8n have available. That is when you use the HTTP request node to be able to access that particular API. I just want you to have it in your mindset that all these native integration we have here, they are all HTTP requests, but they have just been wrapped in a friendly interface, so it's easy for us to get it done and access it and configure it. Do you understand? So it's not like it's looking technical like the raw HTTP request node. So now, since you already have that sticking to your head, now let me use this diagram to explain what both HTTP request is, what API is, what API keys is, what a post and a get really is, so you really get to understand all these things before actually get into building some more complex projects. So now just think of this. Imagine there is a club in town, and that club is like the API, is the place that you want to access. And now you had the HTTP request, you are the one trying to get in and interact with the club. But the club won't let anybody in. They need to know that you are allowed to get in. That's when the API keys now comes in. The API key is just like a VIP pass or a secret password that proves that you are allowed to be inside that club, that prove that you are allowed to get access to their service. So now when you as the HTTP request now later get into that API using the API key, you now have two options. It's either you get request or you post request. So using this example, using this club example, just like you go into the club and say, okay, I want to order a drink. You are getting something from them. You are retrieving some kind of things from them. You are collecting something from them. That's what a get request means. But using this example for a post request, just look like you go into the club and say, okay, I want to give them something. I want to give the manager something. I want to give you guys something. That's what a post and a get means. A get means you are getting something. A post means you are giving something. So in a simple terms, a get just means retrieving data from the API without changing anything. You are reading or retrieving information from them. But a post means you are sending data to the API so it can be stored or act on it. You are sending some kind of body data to that API for them to do something with that particular data, for them to store it, or for them to process it to get some kind of things done. You are sending something. But for a get just means you are collecting something from them. You are retrieving some kind of information from them. That's what a get and a post means. Okay, now let me show you example. Let me show you practical example that will give you more understanding of what HTTP request is and how to get your API key and what a post and a get really means. All of what I've been doing since I've just been explaining, but now I just want to show you the practical example. So since we are on our workflow now, let's first click on this button here and add our trigger. And to actually add our HTTP request, just click on this plus button here and search for HTTP request. As you can see, we have different methods here. We have delete, we have get, we have add, we have option, we have patch, we have post. But the most used ones is get and post. But for this example, we are going to click yes because we want to get the current weather of Lagos. And for this URL, we're just going to click expression and expand it and actually paste in this. So don't let this scare you at all. I'm going to explain what this actually is. But first, let's just delete this your API key and actually go into this website called openweather.map.org. This is just a website to get the current weather of anywhere in the world. So actually, after you open your account and after you sign up and log in, just click on here. You get your free API key. Just click on my API key and actually copy this. I'm coming. Just copy this and head back to n8n and paste this in here. So yeah, let me explain what this is. This is from this HTTP to this place, this org. This is just the website address of the API that we want to access. And for this slash data slash 2.5 and all these things, this is just the specific part of the weather we want to access. This is just like getting a specific part of the weather of what we want to. I don't really know about weather, but that's just what I know. And this Q is equal to means query. Query is equals to Lagos because it's Lagos we want to search about. And for this rest of this place, this just means where we're going to insert our API key. This is not, don't let this really stress you. If you go to Open Weather, check their documentation, they will teach you how you can set up your credentials and all these things. Let's say the authentication to none, and when you click execute step, you can see it went through and give us the current weather information. As you can see, I don't really know more about weather, as I said before. This is just all it gave me. As you can see, this is the sunrise and this is the sunset. Now when I click back and I just take this off and I actually go in and add my actual open weather nodes in n8n. This time we are using HTTP request. Like I said before, HTTP request is just a raw way of accessing any API. But n8n make it very easy by helping us add all this native integration in n8n, so we don't have all this complex configuration to do. Do you understand? So just click on action in app and search for open weather and click it and click on return current weather data. And let's actually go in and create our credential. To create your credential, just click on create new credential and paste in your API key and click save. So now, as you can see, this is more simple, this is more explanatory, this is more easier for anybody to configure. You understand? You can just, okay, the operation I want to get the current weather, I want the format to be metric, I want the location selection to be city name. And when I just come in and type in Lagos and click execute step, as you can see, it gave me same information that my HTTP request gave me, as you can see. So that's what I'm saying. This is also an HTTP request, but n8n was able to wrap it in all this way, so it doesn't look complex, and it makes it easier for us to configure any node. And for this one, we only use this to get the current weather in Lagos. As you can see, we use this to get the current weather in Lagos. But when for post is in a different way, because post we are sending data. But for now, for this get, you can see we use openweather.api.openweather.clinical.com to access their API. To access their API and get the part of the weather we want, and say, okay, is Lagos that we want to search about, is Lagos that we want to search the current weather about, and insert our API, as you can see, our API key, as you can see. So for post is different because here we are bringing the API something, telling it exactly what we want it to do with the data and expecting a processed result back. For this example, let us use Stavely Search API. It's like asking a super fast internet assistant to go and search the web and bring us back the most relevant answer. So for this case, let me break this down so you really understand what is happening here. For this post, this means I'm sending the information to you so you can work on it. This just means I'm sending the information to Tavily so you can work on it. And for this URL, this is the address where Tavily search function actually lives. And for this header, this is just where we are going to be filling in our API key. And to fill in your API key, let's just delete this, leave a space after the barrier, come to API, copy the API key, go back to n8n, and actually paste this in. Let's just put this in expression and expand this. As you can see, barrier, and let there be a space before the API key. And for the body section, this is just what we are going to be sending to Tavily to search about. And I want to click execute step. As you can see, based on what we sent Tavily, it was able to search the web for us and give us our content here. Easy as that. So in this case, when we send this post request, we are giving Tavily both our credentials, which is the API key, and our tags, which is what we want to search about. So Tavily server then reads the data and runs its search engine, and then sends us a well-structured answer that we can use in our workflow. So now with this detailed explanation and example, I believe you should now understand what HTTP request is, what API is, what API keys is, what a get and a post actually is. So now with just this, I would like you to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified next time I drop any video. So yeah, see you next week.